I'm Chris Farrell, and this is On Watch. Welcome to On Watch, everybody, the Judicial Watch podcast, where we go behind the headlines to cover news and information the mainstream media really doesn't want you to know about. We try to recover some lost history, and we try to explain the inexplicable. And when it comes to inexplicable, man, have we got a great host or a great guest with us today, and that is Mayor Matt Murello of Washington Township, New Jersey. Welcome, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
So the whole world, or at least a whole bunch of people, are busy talking about, I guess the shorthand is drones, but who really knows what they are? There are these unidentified aerial phenomenon. There's these things floating around, usually starting around twilight, and there's reports all over the place, particularly New Jersey, where you are. I guess to kick us off, can you give us an idea, just sort of an overview,
Sure.
in your district, in your township, what are folks experiencing?
Sure. Thanks, Chris. So I'm the mayor of Washington Township in Morris County. New Jersey loves to name towns after Washington. There are 5 Washington Townships. We're the one in Morris County. So we're northwest New Jersey. We got a little bit of snow last night. It's called Taylor ham, not pork roll up by us. And we root for the Giants. But just so you know where we are. On around November 18th, we had New Jersey started getting our first police reports of unidentified vehicles in the sky, drones. Right. They started showing up right around dusk, 5 or 6 o'clock at night. And usually by the daytime, they were gone. 11 o'clock, midnight or so, they were gone. What started off as just a couple here and there started to become more widespread. And then about a week later, I believe it was probably December 10th or 8th, a bunch of Morris County other mayors and myself got together, and we co-signed, 21 mayors co-signed a letter to the Governor Murphy and said, look, there are these drones in the sky. There's lots of them. They're in all of our towns. There's really nothing top secret in our area that could be surveilled. However, our residents are starting to get very concerned. There's multiple drones at any time. They tend to be at night only. None of them were observed during the day. They were rotorcraft, helicopter type drones. They could be in varying sizes. It's difficult when you're looking at something in the sky to get a frame of reference. But some of the video I saw, people were describing them as big as 6 feet in diameter. When they were approached by anything trying to see what they were, whether it was a state police helicopter or another drone, they went dark and took off. They appeared to be flying in some type of coordinated grid pattern, as if they were doing some surveying of some kind, or geospatial viewing. And the most disconcerting is we had no idea what they were or what they were doing. We repeated questions were gone unanswered. Nobody seemed to fess up to what they were. So as I said, 21 mayors, we signed a letter to the governor, and it went out on a Sunday. On Monday morning last week, we received an invite from Governor Murphy to attend a briefing at the state police headquarters in West Trenton in Ewing, at what's called the Regional Operations Center, or the ROC. I would say there was probably 150, 200 mayors from all over the state of New Jersey. And it was told to us it was mayors only, no administrative assistants, no admins, no nothing. So here we are thinking, yes, we are going to find out what these buggers are.
Right.
We were going to get in there. We were going to have to take our phones and put them in a Faraday bag, and they were going to, swear us to secrecy. And here it comes. And first, Governor Murphy did not attend, which was a little disappointing. When you get invited by the governor to come to a briefing on something,
right,
that 21 mayors got together, at least I know in Morris County. I'm sure other counties, similar mayors did similar.
Sure.
And we get, summoned to the State Police Regional Operations Center for a meeting. We assume here it comes. Aliens are real, or they're looking at us, who knows what. Honestly, aliens would probably explain a little bit more of this to me. I'd probably be happier with that.
Probably.
We get there, and Colonel Callahan, who is the chief of the New Jersey State Police, starts his presentation by saying the governor couldn't attend and that he was going to brief us along with someone from Homeland Security, the Office of Homeland Security Director from New Jersey. And he says, I am going to tell you everything I know about the drones today. When you leave here, everything I know, you'll know. And we said, great, here it comes. And then he says, I don't know anything.
You know, this is Exhibit A in the government is lying to you, right? I mean, it does not get any more blatant or disrespectful or condescending. I mean, this is really a level of absurdity. It's really insulting. I mean, you and your fellow mayors and other, county officials, et cetera, you've got sheriff's departments out there. They're running around responding to this stuff, right? You're getting people in your township, they're calling 911 saying, hey, something's over the house. What the hell's going on, right? They want
Exactly.
basic answers to stuff. And instead, they do a dog and pony show and tell you, go home.
Right. There's nothing to see here. Please disperse.
Right.
My police chief in our town, as I said, we're about just under 19,000 people. So not a terribly large town, but not small by any means.
Sure.
We were getting a dozen to 24 calls in its peak, right before we sent the letter out, a night, just to our police chief. The state police colonel indicated that they were getting at the state police see something, say something number, between 4 and 180 calls a night, all over the state of New Jersey that they were seeing these things. But that didn't even begin to describe how frustrated I was until I think it was 2 days ago when Admiral Kirby came out and he said, we've looked at these things and we're the federal government, we're the Department of Defense, and we've looked at these and there's nothing there. You're seeing airplanes, you're seeing manned aircraft, you're seeing things that are totally explainable, and there's nothing to see here. There's nothing. There's no foreign adversaries up there. They're not the governments. They're not techs. Technology companies. They're not Amazon delivering packages. They're just regular old airplanes. That was probably the most insulting because,
right.
Again, we know what an airplane looks like. We know what a helicopter looks like. We know what they sound like. This is not that.
Right, right.
When you have hundreds and hundreds of people in just one county of the state of New Jersey, I'm sure all 21 counties, all 564 municipalities, somebody's been complaining about this. It's now 4 weeks, and we still have no idea what's going on here. I mean, look.
So to me, it's very clear that I'm not sure who or what exactly, but this is clearly, in my estimation, some sort of a federal government operation of some description. You can speculate as to who and why, and some speculation is very kind of scary doomsday. Other speculation is more, they're doing an exercise or they're trying out some new technology or whatever. Maybe the truth is somewhere in between there. I don't know. But the idea that they can go out over and over again and tell the public either, no, you're stupid, you're imagining this, go home, or, oh, don't worry. We don't know what it is, but don't worry. I mean, this defies just common sense and basic accountability. They've got to be able to come forward and say, look, we're conducting an exercise. We're running scenarios where we're doing A, B, and C. And yeah, you're going to see more vehicles up at night, but it's a public safety matter and you don't have anything to be worried about. But give people some sense of what the hell's going on. And the idea that you as a government official, you got elected, right? You're the voice of thousands of people in your area, that they treat you this way is just insane. Or swear you to secrecy, make you say, all right, you won't say what you really know, but just rest assured, New Jersey citizens, everything really is okay.
And you know what? I would be fine with that, Chris. If someone was to say that to me and say, look, this is a national security issue. To be honest with you, to keep it kind of the geography of New Jersey, Morris County has Morristown Municipal Airport. All right, we also have Picatinny Arsenal. Not that Picatinny Arsenal is a top secret facility, but they come up with the state art munitions.
Yeah. Yep.
But we also have Bedminster Golf Course, which is just south of Morris County by one town. So our original, assumption was that somehow the government was, let's just say, laying the groundwork and surveying every nook and cranny, every hill and valley, and every building between those areas. Because as we imagine, President-elect Trump is going to be spending a lot of time in this area.
Sure.
This is something we're not used to. So.
Right.
That's what we were led to believe. That's what I assumed. I'm not going to speak to every mayor, but we assumed that's what was going on.
Right.
As I said, but I spoke to several surveying companies, or geospatial technologies, which is what they're called now, and said, if you were going to survey a really large area, a municipality, a county, how would you do it? Well, one drone could fly in a grid pattern over a long period of time, or you could use several drones and have them coordinate and fly in a grid pattern so that you could get the topography and so forth, which is what we were led to believe. But all the time we were told over and over, and it's still the talking point that we're being given, is there is no perceived threat, which I think is very cleverly worded, right? No perceived, we think,
right. Yeah.
No perceived threat by these drones, but we don't know who's flying them. Now, unless you live under a rock, all you have to do is look up any video of how drones are being used in other areas of the world, and it's terrifying. Drones like these can carry several hundreds of pounds, a couple hundred pounds of payload. They can not only carry cameras, video cameras, but infrared, thermal cameras. We know that. Our police officers, our county and state, use them when they're trying to find lost people in the woods and victims, and even reconnaissance. They can carry munitions. We know that. We've seen it. Look at what's going on in Ukraine, in Israel.
Right.
I have no belief at all that any of that is what's going on here. But when Colonel Callahan said that they had the state police helicopter up and they were above this drone, about 6 foot in diameter, and the minute the drone realized they were in airspace of a police helicopter, it went dark. The lights went off, and it took off. To further make us more concerned, we were told by the state police that they emitted no radio frequencies and had no beacon, no teleprompt on it. So how they're flying these things is a complete mystery. Now, we are the most technologically advanced nation in the world. We have the greatest military on planet Earth, and we can't track them. We don't know what they are.
Has your police force or your county sheriff's office put up a drone to watch or to check or follow any of these other drones?
My police department doesn't have one. I believe the Morris County Sheriff's Office does and has, although I haven't spoken to the sheriff.
Yeah.
But the state police colonel, was very clear. They've watched them with drones. They've followed them as best they can with helicopters, but because they don't appear, again, this is the information that was provided to me, to be emitting any type of homing information or radio frequency of any kind, they can't track them.
That's pretty wild stuff. I saw an interview, you may have seen the same one, of a New Jersey deputy sheriff, a county sheriff deputy, who was operating a drone, and they said that county sheriff had said, fine, put a drone up to follow it, and they had launched their drone. And as you mentioned earlier, they have various pods on their police drone, heat-seeking, IR, et cetera, in order to track. And the deputy sheriff being interviewed said that they had a hard time trying to acquire the drone because there was no heat signature, which I found astounding, if that's true.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not sure. I mean, to be completely honest with you, if it has a motor, one would think it's generating some type of heat.
Yeah, it's flying,
even if
it's
right? Right, even if it's a liquid cooled or something, fan type blade, I would assume it's producing some type of heat. I mean,
and the problem with how this is being dealt with by our federal government is that it leads to two guys like you and me speculating about heat signatures and the ability to acquire it using another. So, this says it doesn't do much in the way of calming people by any means.
It really does not. And you can, when you add the internet and everyone has a high definition camera in their pocket,
right.
my expertise, despite I feel like I've now become the drone expert in the elected office in all of Northwest New Jersey. I'm an engineer. I'm an acoustical engineer. So I'm not big on heat signatures and flight patterns, but I know what things sound like.
Right.
That's what I've been doing for 31 years.
Right.
And I've heard these right down my street, and in the area. There's something really bizarre going on here, to be completely honest with you, Chris, and I have absolutely no idea what it is.
And for what it's worth, not just New Jersey, just this past Saturday, my colleague here at Judicial Watch was out visiting friends in Charlestown, West Virginia. And he got out of his pickup truck and looked up, and behold, there were two drones, one real close, one further away. The one further away shut its lights off and took off. And the one right over him kind of hung there for a while. And my colleague said that drone was as big as his pickup truck.
Yeah, and that's the story that we're being told. I mean, that's the consistent story. And then the other problem is now that everybody's talking about it on every news agency and every blog, it is the story. And it's been going on for 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
Now it's becoming difficult to sort out actual sightings of these, and
right, because people want to jump in and they exploit it. They put in crazy pictures and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, someone sent me a video the other day that I swear looked like a V-22 Osprey, which is a Marine Corps helicopter that the rotors go up and tilt. And I looked at it and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's a Marine Corps helicopter. And but I'm not gonna say anything else. But it looks really big, and I don't think that's this.
So going forward, I mean, you're kind of where you are. I understand your level of frustration. Is anybody giving you any kind of like, don't worry, Mayor, we're going to do X, Y, or Z? Is there any pathway forward you're looking at?
I was hopeful that, of the 21 mayors from Morris County, I would say 6 or 8 of us have been on the news more than we've been at work.
Now, that is your job. You're educating the public. You're informing the public.
That's right. That's what I signed up for. So, by raising the awareness to this level, I have to assume that at some point someone's going to say, all right, we got to shut these clowns up. Let's at least tell them what we can tell them. And again, I have said this over and over, and I think you put it before. If this is a national security thing and it's fine, please tell me and I will shut up and you'll never hear from me again about this. I get that. There are things that are above my pay grade, and I get that totally.
Right.
But by continuing to say there is no safety issue here, or even worse, getting on, sending the DOD spokesperson out to say, I don't know what you people are looking at. These are planes. You're all nuts.
Right. Right. Blatantly lying to the public is never a good idea.
No. But again, you don't have to give me, I don't need a top secret security clearance and tell me everything that's going. I don't want to know that. Plus me, that's no thank you. I don't want to know. But at least give us something that we can tell our residents other than there's no safety issue, but I don't know what they are.
Especially when they're only flying at night. Right?
Exactly.
Regardless of the technical whatever, that just makes it creepier, right? Because people go outside and in the darkness, right?
And they're right above the tree line.
Right.
And everyone's like,
it's like out of a bad movie, right? But all of a sudden, but it's their reality. That's what they have to face. It's crazy.
Right. And people go outside and they'll say, oh, there's one. And, maybe they are, or now it's just like, like an airplane or whatever it is.
Yeah.
The other odd part was, I forgot to mention this, is that we were told that the only night that there has been 0 drone reports was Thanksgiving. Now, I don't know.
They were having a little turkey, they had to take the night off.
If it is a foreign adversary and they took off for Thanksgiving, that was very nice of them. I'm not sure why, but that piece of information we got from the state police I thought was kind of comical.
That is interesting. That gives you an idea. It's further evidence that it's a federal government operation. They had to take Thanksgiving off. So
Probably.
I buy it.
Yeah.
Mayor Matt Murello of Washington Township in Morris County, New Jersey.
There we go.
We gotta specify. I'm going to give you the last word. If people want to follow what you're up to, if they want to track what's happening in your neck of the woods, or if you just have your ability to communicate out to the public, I'm going to give you the last word. Let us know what to do and how to follow you.
Sure. I mean, I have a Facebook page. It's Mayor Matt Murello, Murello. But we're telling people two things. If they see a drone, one, don't try to take it down yourself. We don't need anybody taking shots at drones and trying to bring them down. It is a federal crime, right or wrong. It's a crime. They're going to come and wonder what you're doing. There's also a safety issue.
Good suggestion.
The other thing that is that originally they had given us the FBI tips line. However, I tried calling it once. I don't know if you've ever tried to actually call the FBI. It doesn't really end well. It's just a constant loop of nowhere. But the state police have set up a tip line. It's 1-8664. That's the number 4 SAFE NJ. 4 SAFE NJ. If people report them, the best that the state troopers are telling us they can do is come up with a really detailed database of what, where, when, and how many. And maybe we'll get lucky and one of these things will fall in an empty field and we'll be able to figure it out. We don't need to bring them all down. We just got to bring one down, and then we can figure out what the hell's going on here.
Mayor, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you joining us on Watch.
Thank you so much.
I'm Chris Farrell on Watch.